Hi guys, it's Becky Bowden and I wanted to do a quick video for you today on the armour of God. Now, what is the armour of God? We can find the armour of God in Ephesians 6 verse 10 to 18. It's a spiritual armour that God gives us to protect ourselves from spiritual attacks. Now, for example, think of yourself if you're in a physical battle and your armour was lying on the floor. You're not going to last very long, and you're probably going to be targeted quite a lot because people will see you as a weak, you'll be a weak point. So I wanted to say praying on the armour of God is really important. Now, I know a lot of people will say I never take my armour off, so therefore I'm always protected. That's fine if you believe that. I personally believe that it's something that we need to be doing regularly, and I really enjoy doing it regularly as well. So I pray it on over myself and my husband and my 2 children most days now. I try to do it every day, not because I think, oh my gosh, if I miss a day, then loads of bad stuff's going to happen to me, but I do like to do it every day if I can. It only takes, a minute, and by praying on the armour of God before I even get out of bed in the morning, I'm giving God the very first minutes of my day, and I'm communicating with the creator of the universe. What could be better than that? That's what needs to be happening. We need to be spending our very first moments with God and our very last moments with God in the day, as well as throughout the day. So I pray on that armour of God before I even get out of bed. Now, in Ephesians 6, you can find it from 14 to 18 is the actual armour, how it describes it. And if I've got time, I will briefly read through that and show you what it is. But I want to give you a quick testimony. A couple of Sundays ago, I had a really rubbish day. I had a really rough day. My arm was all scratched up because I had to take the letterbox off and try and shove my arm through to reach our keys. Kids locked themselves in the house. They were screaming. I was distressed. We had to smash the window pane next to our front door in order to get in. We had a massive disagreement with our next door neighbour, and we ended up having to rip up our decking just to try and keep them happy. Our decking is now still not done, and we don't really have the money to redo the garden, but the Lord will provide. So the garden was a mess, kids were distressed, arm was hurting, window pane smashed, didn't get to church because of it, and it was just a pretty rubbish day. I was exhausted by the end of it. James was. The kids were fine after 5 minutes, but it just was a bit of a rubbish day. On the Monday, as I was praying, I was like, Lord, yesterday was such a rubbish day, and he just suddenly brought to my mind straight away, Becky, what was the one thing you didn't do yesterday morning? And I realised then I didn't start my day off with prayer. I didn't pray at all. Not only did I not pray for protection, I didn't pray on the armour. I didn't pray at all. I got straight up bed, went upstairs, started making the kids breakfast. Now, I'm not saying that if you don't pray on the armour of God, loads of bad stuff's going to happen to you. But I know for a fact that if you do pray on the armour of God because he tells us to, then you're going to be protected from far more than if you didn't pray it on. So what I'm saying is get into a good habit of praying on the armour of God every morning, because one, it starts you off speaking to God straight away. You pray for protection, so already you're going to be protected from so much more than if you hadn't prayed it on. And also it gets you into a great routine with God as well. You're giving God your day, you're being obedient to his will because he tells us to pray it on. So start off every day with praying on the armour of God, and just be encouraged, because when you pray it on in faith, you're protected. We know that by praying on the armour of God doesn't mean that we're going to become invincible. It says we're going to expect trials and tribulations, but we're going to be protected from far more than if we hadn't. So please start praying on the armour of God if you need to. Print it out and memorize it. That's what I did a few years ago. I printed it out, I memorized it, and now I can pray it whenever I need to. I'll quickly tell you now what the armour of God is. Stand firm then, with a belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. Take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. So yeah, start praying on the armour of God, and I shall do another video for you guys soon.